the best way to do this is to sit down and take a moment and write everything that you want in a relationship and all of the important things to you, and then make the effort to become that person. And the second thing is ask the fundamental question, would I go out with me? Would I be in a long-term relationship with me? And what is it about me that I wouldn't want to be in a long-term relationship with? Whatever that personality trait is, whatever that characteristic is, whatever that emotional state or belief that is under the surface of our conscious mind that we want to change, because I think relationships are an opportunity for you to bring your best. It's an opportunity for you to really bond with another person, and you can connect with people in so many interesting ways because of certain emotions. And emotions are memories, right? And you share the same information from those memories, you share the same emotions, you share the same energy, you share the same information. And so an opportunity in a relationship to bond with another person, but not only in those first three energy centers. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's why we're here, but to evolve that into something else, to really, really have an opportunity to express all of those feelings that we feel with our heart. And we want relationships to be healthy because we want to feel joy. That's the sponsoring thought behind it. And so a lot of people say then, I want this type of person, and they're not that person themselves. Or they'll say, I'm ready for a relationship, but they're unconsciously anticipating the next relationship to be familiar, just like the last one. And you want to meet in those emotions in our heart that have to do with joy and love and gratitude and appreciation and giving and caring and being kind and being vulnerable and expressing ourselves with those feelings and demonstrating it so that you can be that for the other person. I think that's really important. And when it's the most difficult in a relationship, do you have the capacity really to, when it's the hardest, demonstrate those emotions? Or better said, when it's the hardest, would you be willing to take care of yourself and make your way back to love? And then once you meet in love, you can understand each other and seek to be understood. I think exchanging that kind of information in that emotional state always brings so many jewels, so many great opportunities to transform those limited emotions into elevated emotion. And you can certainly do that on your own, but you could also do it with another person. And it would be wonderful if you found someone that you lined up with all energy centers. Wouldn't that be cool? That you could have a passionate romantic relationship, that you can enjoy a space together and enjoy food and feel comfort and security and safety, and have a family or a tribe or a network or a balance with community and succeed in your life and do things. And you need that third energy center to do it and overcome and use your will and an enormous resource of energy to actually compete and survive and get to a certain place in your life where you can relax into your heart. And when you overcome those challenges, that's what it's there for. Feel more whole. And most people in relationships bring a half, but a healthy relationship brings the whole. And so then that's how two become one. And then you got to express that love, and you got to express your greatest understanding of love, and you got to be able to communicate through that center in a place of love. And if you do that really well, I think that some transformation takes place in the way we see the world, and the way we see beauty in the world, and how we treat others, and some conditioning or a veil is removed. And I think that's so important for a relationship. And there's so many stigmas around relationships and sex and all those things that are based on just programming, whether it's body parts or looking a certain way or having things. It's not the sign of what true relationships are about. It's about climbing to a higher level of awareness, and then ultimately, create more harmony in your body and more harmony in your life, and be connected and open. And that would be wonderful, and I think that it's possible. In fact, a lot of people meet in our events and they find that. And I don't think you have to work in a relationship. I think you just have to be your best. And so if you wanted to create a healthy relationship, I think the first step would be to look at what aspects of ourselves that in our relationship with ourselves, do we complain, do we make excuses, are we lazy, or do we have bad habits, do we gossip and talk trash about people and judge people? I mean, that won't be fuel for a healthy relationship unless you find someone that does the same. And then, of course, that's a certain level of consciousness that people operate at. I think if you really want to evolve and you find somebody that is in the interest of consuming information and knowledge and applying it and experiencing it and getting closer to wholeness and getting closer to that level of acceptance, not only with ourselves, but with so many things around us, and cultivate that kind of love that exists in our lives. I think if you find another person that shares that same purpose, that same mission, that same desire to evolve themselves, and you're committed to that, I think that's really healthy. So we have people that tune into that little exercise that we do, tune into potentials. Someone stood on the stage just recently and he wrote down the letter R for relationship and drew 2 squiggly lines around it. And this guy's on the journey and he wrote down all the things that he wanted in a relationship, that really meant something to him. And that was his intention. When he looked at that letter R, he knew what it meant to him. And then he started to feel the emotions of that relationship ahead of the actual experience. And he started to open his heart and condition his body into that future emotionally. And what were the emotions he wanted to experience in that relationship? He was actually becoming